What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Deck Talk Podcast. I'm Colin Burnett.
And I am Norman Lee.
Hey, today we've got a special edition show for you from the Bassmaster Classic Media Day. We have got 10 anglers that we've got interviewed.
Yep. You know, we had a great time at Media Day, and we interviewed some great anglers. And, you know, Colin, I think the majority of the anglers we interviewed actually was in the top 25, and two or three of them ended up being in the top 6 or 7, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we hope that you enjoy this video. We sure did enjoy the process of being able to talk to all the anglers, but hope you enjoy, and we'll see you here and on the flip side of this.
Enjoy. Tight lines, guys.
What's up, guys? We got Seth Fighter here. He is Bassmaster Elite, and you've gone to the Classic. Well, this is going to be your 9th trip to the Classic?
Yeah, I think I'm 6 or 7.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, then sorry about that.
No 9 sounds better. Let's just say 9. I've been here 9 times.
Right. Well, that's where the Bassmaster's website says.
Okay.
And so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But how has your previous Classic helped you prepare to be able to stand out in this elite or in this Classic this year?
Yeah, it's a lot different practicing for a Classic just because everything's set up so much different and you got so much other stuff going on and distractions. So I'm more used to it now. The first couple Classics you fish, it's kind of a whirlwind. Your head's spinning the whole time. There's so much going on, and now that I've been to a couple, I can, kind of see I know what I'm getting into, you know what I mean? Right. So I'm a little more ready for it.
Sounds good. Now, do you think that you're going to be able to use your strength, as in like how you like doing the deep water for smallmouths and stuff like that? Do you think that's going to be a tool that you're going to be able to use here?
Well, I looked at the weather and I bet against the smallmouth, so I haven't messed with them at all. If we were looking at a lot colder weather, I think I'd have put all my practice into the smallmouth. But
I should have been here a week earlier.
Yeah, I didn't mess around with them at all, so I'm going to go up bank beating, flat side and square bill and spinner bait and flipping a jig.
Right, and that's one thing that I really enjoy watching you over the years is how versatile that you are. And even though we know that your strength is that deep smallmouth, that you don't really, if you know that bite's not happening, that you're quick, that I've noticed that you're probably one of the quicker ones that I've noticed, that to be able to make that change. And so I wish I could make that quick decision, which I know it's been years. There's no telling how many hours you've got on the boat, but I know that time.
And sometimes I make the wrong decision, leave too soon or stay too long, but that's the way she goes.
Right. What did it feel like when you finished in the top 30 in all the events and when you won Angler of the Year?
That was crazy. That was just I couldn't do anything wrong that year. Every decision I made was the right one. Every time I made a move, something worked out.
Right.
I can't. It was an awesome feeling. I wish I could do it every tournament, but it comes and goes. I just kind of got on a heater and everything was going my way. And in tournament fishing, that's just how it goes. At that moment, I was there. Right now, I'm like maybe here. I hope I'm like right here, but it's just a roller coaster.
But just that stat in itself, if you take out the Angler of the Year, just finishing top 30 in all the events, that's a stat right there to be proud of anyways. And then taking home the trophy, that just was an extra little boost on that. Congratulations on that. Because that and this question, do you think everybody wants to come here to the Classic and wants to win? What is more as a career, what is like the best accomplishment that you think? Is it to win Angler of the Year, or let's say if you had a Classic, you got the Angler of the Year, which one would you think would hold a higher?
I think the Classic. I understand that technically Angler of the Year is harder to win because it's 9 tournaments long, and this is just 3 days. But like just looking at the sport and growing up, like I remember every classic, every winner. Well, not way back, but from when I started watching, like every year, like that, you were the man of the year that year. And no offense to the previous Angler of the Year winners, like I couldn't name them all, you know, because it's not that exact moment. It's just the course of a whole year. He was the man. And the classic is just like I would trade my Angler of the Year trophy for that one right there. Put my hands on it. Yeah.
Well, we hope that you get to see you posting that thing up above your head, because I know you're going to put on a show anyways for us. What is your top 3 lakes that you've fished with with the Bassmasters?
Top 3. Cayuga Lake in New York's one of my favorite. The California Delta was super cool. And then I know it's really not that good a lake, and I just had a good time there, and it showed out when we were there. But everyone's gonna laugh at me for this, but so on West Logan one 2 years ago. It's on the Coosa.
I was about to say, it's on the...
It's one of the worst lakes on the Coosa, but like we just hit it at a perfect time. The river flooded. They got up in the water wheel, and I could swim a white jig all day, and like I love doing that. And like I said, I know it's not the greatest lake, but like I had a fun time.
But that's one thing. Like,
but I think we just hit it right. You know?
Right, and each angler's gonna have different lakes and stuff like that. But just like how you said, you hit it at the right time, and they were ready to eat. So I mean, somebody could have been in the boat right next to you and not caught anything. They'd be like, man, that lake sucks. So another question: where did you get the nickname Llama, or how did you?
It was me and Zona were shooting a TV show, and I don't know. I guess he just started yelling Llama at me, and then right after that, we fished a tournament somewhere. I don't even remember what it was, but I don't even know how I fished, but I had a camera one of the days, and I caught a big one, yelled Llama, and then here we are.
And not to take too much more of your time, but in our podcast, we asked this question to everybody. If you could have anyone in your boat, living or have passed away, who would that be, and why would you have them?
Like get to go fishing with them?
Go fishing with them.
Probably Greg Hackney.
Okay.
He's like my favorite guy to watch fish.
Well, awesome, man. And he's very. I take it from him is that he's very knowledgeable about it, and you can learn even with being something like that. Could learn little tips and tricks. I mean, because he's been around the block once or twice. So. But
like I watch all the bass lives and stuff after I get booted out. I don't know. Like everyone I watch fish, I gotta watch other people catch them to stay interested.
Right.
I just like watching him job around, throw a plug. Like he's a smooth dude.
Right. Well, Seth, we appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Seth, appreciate it, man. Really do.
See you, boys.
What's up, guys? We are back, and we've got one of the, I think, best anglers that is out here. That's personality-wise is probably the best personality out here. With Lee Livesley, and Lee, what does it mean to you to be able to come out here and fish a classic?
The classic's just a dream. All of us. The media guys, the anglers, people fishing other stuff, people fishing amateur stuff in the house, Tuesday nighters. We all dream about the Bassmasters Classic. It's the biggest event in bass fishing. It always will be, and it's just a dream. I'm very appreciative to be here and never take it for granted. Every time I come here, it's the same way. I dream about this place. I dream about getting that trophy. I'm going to get one of these trophies one day, and I want it really bad.
You're getting close. We were talking about it, and we were saying that for me, you were in my top 3 of getting for this year, because I just felt like it kind of fit more of how you like to fish. I felt that this is going to be a good year for you.
Yeah, it's close. I power fish shallow. I like this time of year. Fits me right. Just those smallmouth are the only thing that kind of messes me up. Those deeper ones like that Gussie catches, it's not my style. I'm not going to do it. I like what I'm doing here. I haven't figured it out yet. I really have not. I've caught some fish every day, but just hadn't had that size yet. But it's not over. I like to practice in the tournament. I don't like to catch them in practice. So there's some good areas that I'm going to fish I haven't even looked at yet. So we'll see what happens.
So does the TVA lakes, do they compare to back at home?
Not really. There's no grass in here. There's not a lot of wood. We don't have the laydowns like they have here. But as long as it's largemouth, shallow, dirty water, I can power fish a little bit. Square bills, chatterbaits, lipless bait stuff like jigs. That's up my alley. Top water might play this week. That hasn't played yet is what I'm hoping. So
especially with it being in the close to 80s, maybe Sunday that might play a big.
I've got 4 different ones tied on in the box that haven't came out yet, but the hooks are sharp.
I got a question. What about Whiskey Myers? I mean, I've heard people on Jake that goes on Dave Mercer's podcast. They're always talking about Whiskey Myers, and they say that it's a heck of a show that they do. And what about, they say that when they go on to hang out with them, they talk more about fishing than they do about their band.
Oh yeah, it's just like this. When you talk to us, we talk about hunting instead of fishing. And it's the same thing with the band, man. They're all great guys. I've known them for a long time. They are, like you said, they put on a show. If you ever want to go to a real, Southern rock show, country, whatever you want to call it, that red dirt country / Southern rock, they put on a hell of a show. Really good dudes that love fishing. Cody, the lead singer, he owns a tackle company, Toad Thumpers. He'll be here selling baits, and he's at most of the events that he can make. Really cool guys that love to fish.
Heck yeah. Now we got, in our podcast, we ask all the anglers this. If you could have one person on your boat, living or have passed, who would it be and why would you want them on your boat?
To fish with?
To fish with one day.
Oh, that's easy. Hackney. I'm a Hackney fan. Greg Hackney's a...
You're not the first person.
Good answer.
Dude,
yeah.
Drink a beer with you, fry some fish, we go catfishing with you. I don't like to just bass fish. I like to do everything. Saltwater fish, so it'd definitely be Hackney.
Heck yeah. Sounds good, brother. We appreciate it.
Good stuff, man.
Thank y'all.
What's up, guys? We have last year's Bassmaster Classic champion Jason Christie here with me. Now, how does it feel to be able to come back to this event and just kind of are you able to just kind of just breathe a little bit more, or is it still kind of that excitement? I know the excitement's always there coming to this stage, right?
Yeah, it's to be weird to answer your question in a weird way. It's a little bit of both. It feels like it's been, it feels like it's been years ago since I won, and then part of me feels like it was yesterday. But to come back to the event, there's one negative thing about coming here, and that is, unless I win, I will no longer be the reigning defending champion. I mean, it's going to be a fist fight for me to defend this title against everybody else, and it's going to be a hard job, and I want to give it my best effort, and hopefully, what I need to do this week to be able to win is to fish smart. Not be afraid to fish behind somebody. And anybody that wins this event is going to have 2 or 3 key bites in the event. That's going to be that 4 or 5 pound bite that's going to push them ahead.
Now, how long did it take for you winning the Classic? Did it take for you to sink in to realize I am a Classic champion?
It was probably a few weeks because I did not go home after that event. I stayed in South Carolina. We had another event. Anyway, it sunk in the next time that I got home, and I actually carried that trophy out of the truck and set it on the mantle at my house, and it was like a merry-go-round at my house for the next few months. So most people I knew, some people I didn't, that would just stop by the house and didn't care anything about me. They just wanted to see it. So, yeah.
And one thing, I listened to Dave Mercer's podcast, and right after he had you on, after you had won, and the coolest thing that I took, well, one of the neatest things was the fact that your wife told you that she couldn't believe all the confetti.
Oh yeah.
And then he ended up saying there was confetti.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't remember any, and she had to show me a video, and she had a picture made now that hangs kind of on the trophy wall. That's a picture of us at the Classic, her and I at the Classic with confetti falling, and she has a jar there full of confetti, which
That's awesome.
Yeah, which proves that there was. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever they called the weight last year, I pretty much blacked out for about a week.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee it, because you've been so close. I mean, and that's one thing we've talked about is when you're naming people that's coming to the Classic, your name has got to be the top of the list of people that's going out that has the best chance of coming in here and hosting that trophy. How does the TVA lakes fit into your strengths?
I think current. I think the fact that these fish they're not far. They don't live far from where they spawn, meaning that it doesn't take them a week, for it to warm up, and it take a week for them to get where they're going. Literally, it can warm up in one day, and those fish can slide up. But
we noticed that on Chickamauga. Really, they could pretty much just be going like east to west in a sense, maybe 50, 60 yards, pretty much about all.
And that's what kind of suits my style is you have to kind of know when to pounce on them. You got to know when to get the right timing down. But good instance at Chickamauga. I won there the last time we were there, and I was able to kind of figure out that rhythm of when they're going to come and when they're not, and where they're going to come to. And during that event at Chickamauga on the Tennessee River, it went both ways. I fished the beginning of the event with those fish moving, and then the last day when it got so cold, I fished where they pulled back to. Right. So that's how the TVA helps me, is just that the fact that they don't live a mile from where they spawn.
Exactly. Now, last question. We ask this on all the anglers that come onto our podcast. If you could have anyone in your boat, living or that have passed, who would that be, and why would you want them on your boat to fish one day?
I got goosebumps. You asked me that. It would be my grandpa, my dad's dad. I have very little memory of him. He passed away when I was 4. He raised 6 boys, but I think that not knowing him, and just the fact that him raising that many boys, he would have to be proud of where I'm at, and just for him to see what I've been able to do coming from where we all came from, I think he would be impressed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What's up, guys? We are back, and we've got 14-year pro Scott Canterbury. And Scott, how does finishing 18th on Okeechobee here early at the first term of this year set you up for a strong season this year?
Getting off to a good start is great to begin the year. So, that tournament really was tough too. So I made some really good adjustments, and ended up catching them a little bit better each day, I think. So I made some big moves the second day, and you get in a mindset when you're fishing good, and I think that's one thing that's really good. You got a little confidence going into the year.
Right. Is your strength, is your strength going to come into play, you think, as in flipping and stuff like that? Is it going to come into play, you think, here on the
this week Bassmaster Classic? If I was to win this thing, it's going to be by my strength. I'm going to fish the way I love to fish the whole time. It's been a tough practice, but I think the fish are really moving, so I'm going to be up there shallow power fishing. It's going to be 100% my strength if I was to win.
Yeah, and that's one thing when I seen that we were going to be able to talk to you. I knew just from watching you over the years, I was like, and how the weather's kind of set up perfect. Because we're from Chattanooga, and we fish Chickamauga and Nickajack and stuff, and so I've been fishing on it here the past couple of weeks. We're seeing how the fish are moving, and when I seen that we had you, that we can talk to you, I was like, I told Norman, I said, he's going to crush them if he can get on that.
You know, if I can figure it out, I mean, it's been tough. We had brutal conditions for practice, but, you know, I mean, around the house, I'm a little further south, just a couple of hours. And man, our fish had gotten super shallow already. I mean, we were catching on spooks and everything around the house, so it's a little different. The dynamics are a little different. We got a lot of big spots down there, so, but I'm definitely going to fish my strengths. I'm going to stay shallow, keep it in the dirt, and power fish my way.
Right. Now, how does fishing the Bassmaster Classic compare to fishing like the Reckless or the was it Forest Wood?
Yeah, you know, I fished 10 Forest Wood Cups, and I mean, you know, I used to work the Classic, and that's the biggest thing. After you work one of these, no matter what you had been to, you wanted to be here. This is 100%. This is the Super Bowl of bass fishing. This is what it's about, and you know, this is what we strive for each and every year. Every fisherman alive wants to be at the Bassmaster Classic.
Right. Now, what would you say would be a bigger win? We know you've got Angler of the Year in 2019.
Yep.
Or would you rather win another Angler of the Year, or would you rather bring home this trophy here?
You know, my goal every year is to be consistent, the most consistent angler. That was my goal, whether I was fishing BFLs or the Opens or whatever. I wanted to win Angler of the Year. After winning it, I want one of those trophies, the Classic trophy, to go next to it now.
Well, I
would be super happy with another AOY trophy. Don't get me. I mean, I'd love to have one. I'd love to have two more of them. And hopefully that'll happen. But the Classic trophy would set next to it would be the best thing ever.
And we ask this question to all of our anglers that come onto our podcast. If you could have anyone in your boat, living or have passed, who would it be, and why would you want them on your boat?
Good gracious, that's pretty tough. We got tons of great anglers, you know, and to have one person in the boat, probably because of knowledge and faith, I'd want Jay Yellis in the boat. I mean, you know, I roomed with him for years and I fished with him a bunch, but his knowledge in the boat is great, but the faith beats it all.
Yeah. Awesome. That is awesome. What's up, guys? Right now we are with Scott Martin, the man, the myth, and the legend right here, and we got the opportunity to be able to ask him a few questions. So, hey Scott, what is coming up fishing the TVA lakes? How does it compare to down in Clewiston?
Oh yeah, it's between the ledges and the shell bars.
It's everywhere, right?
All the different, it's completely opposite, obviously. You know, there's zero parallels at all, you know. So that being said, but I have enjoyed fishing the Tennessee River over the years. You know, we started early on in my career fishing Kentucky Lake a lot. Fell in love with fishing current and ledges, and early on in my career as well, I finished second here in the summertime tournament and caught them out deep. So, you know, I love the Tennessee River. I actually love Fort Loudon. It's a great lake.
Now what? How much we see your videos and stuff, but how much would it mean to you and to your family to be able to host this trophy up over your head on Sunday
and hand it to your dad?
It's literally everything. It's literally everything. I mean, I can't put it into words. People has asked me that a lot today, and I honestly can't put it into words for a lot of reasons, but it would be amazing. I mean, that's the simplest word I can give you. But I mean, if I pull off a victory here, it'll be something that the fans want to forget for sure, and I want you to.
Yeah, we're definitely pulling for you on it. Now, does this part of the Tennessee River, does it fish similar to, like, let's say Chickamauga, was maybe 60 miles, 80 miles?
No, they're all different. Every lake in the Silk Chain's a little different. They've got their own little personality. So there's not much grass here at all. So Chickamauga's got more grass and a little bit different fishery. But you know, they all look. The river systems fish similar this time of the year. These fish are, you know, relating to certain parts of the pocket, certain parts of the creeks, getting ready for the spawn eventually. And they pay attention to water level. That's the biggest thing. All these lakes have a different schedule on water as far as what level they're at. And right now we're dealing with extremely low conditions on this lake, so that makes the fish do a certain thing. But they're used to it. They do it year after year like this, so we just have to get used to it as fishermen.
Right. Do you think that smallmouths are going to have a big factor in this tournament?
Huge. Yeah, smallmouth will be a big player here. It'll be the most important factor, I believe.
Right.
I think a guy that wins this tournament didn't necessarily need 15 smallmouth, but he needs some.
Right. Now, we ask this to all the anglers that come onto our podcast. If you could have one person or anyone on your boat to fish a day, living or that have passed, who would it be and why would you want them on your boat?
Oh, you know, my grandfather, he passed away when I was 7, and he loved bass fishing. He taught my mom how to fish. So independent of my mom marrying my dad, my mom fished a bunch growing up. And it'd have been neat to fish with him. You know, I don't remember, I don't have a memory of fishing with my grandfather. He lived in another state. I just don't remember it, but so if I could snap my fingers and have him back to do it, it'd be awesome.
And that's one thing that I like with y'all's videos, that you bring your dad in and then you have Hillary and all the kids going out, even if it's not bass fishing, when you're going out to the Keys or something like that. That to me, I mean, I'm like, that's making so many memories for them, and to be able to have that family time, and I can tell that means the world to you to be able to share that experience with your kids and stuff.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, it's I'm been blessed with 4 great children. They all love the outdoors. Hillary's liking the bass fishing more than all of them put together, even me included. And so it's been fun to be able to share the boat with all my kids.
And Hillary's going to be fishing collegiately next year, right?
She will be.
Yes.
Yeah, she'll be fishing
Awesome.
on the college team next year. Not sure exactly which university yet, but she's got a couple in mind.
Good deal.
Heck yeah.
Well, congratulations to her
Thank
as well.
you, Scott, and we wish you the best, brother. What's up, guys? We are back, and we got the infamous Matt Robinson right here with us. Matt, we got a couple questions for you. First question is what is it like to be back here on this stage?
Oh, dude, it's awesome, man. Once you fish your first classic, it's kind of another level of addiction whenever it comes to bass fishing, not just tournament fishing. And man, I'm going to tell you something, you never take it for granted. And I'm not going to say I'm just happy to be here, but we're going to go after it this week.
Yeah, and you by far, if I have to pick anybody that I want to see win this thing, I want to see you. We talked to you at ICAST, and it's always been a blast chit-chatting with you. And what do you think is going to be able to what you're going to have for like day one to be able to say I feel comfortable to where I'm at?
I mean, honestly, doing what I'm doing, day one with the weather, I'm liking the wind blowing. I wish it was cloudy and rainy, but 13 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds a day keeps you in the hunt. Like, you can go out there and crack a big bag the next day. Honestly, you could weigh in 5 pounds here and catch 22 the next day and still be in it. But I think it's going to take 16 a day to win, probably. That's what it's taken. Maybe 16 and a half the last couple times we've been here is what it's taken to win. The only thing that's different is these boys have learned how to catch these bigger smallmouth on this river system since we've been here. And Gussie showed that, and I think some more guys are doing that too. So I think you'll see that, but yeah, man, I think 16, 17 a day is going to win.
Now, how does this part of the Tennessee River, does it fish similar to what Chickamauga?
Yeah, this lake definitely has those options. Like you can go fish offshore here, and a lot of those guys are doing that fishing for the big smallmouth. And there's some good offshore fishing for largemouth here, but man, this is like this is more of a river system than a lake. It flows, and these fish live shallow year-round, especially the largemouth. So you're going to be able to see some guys get back here traditional bank bait, and throwing crankbaits, spinnerbaits, squarebill, stuff like that.
What would be, do you think would be a bigger accomplishment for you career-wise? Would it be to win Angler of the Year or
Bassmaster Classic?
You didn't even let me finish. Heck yeah. Crap. I just had a brain fart.
It's all good. Brain fart it, and we'll figure it out.
That's right. Now, how big of a party are you going to have if you host this trophy?
It'll be the biggest party that Bass has ever seen. I'm not sure for sure if they actually want me to win for the size party. Everybody here's fishing for $300 grand. I'm fishing for between $200 and $250. Because if I win, we're dropping $50 grand on the party that night minimum. And I know once I get into it, it's probably going to go up from there. But I got my boy here to Willie with the wood shop. He's going to tame me a little bit, not let me go over that 100 more.
That's good stuff right there, Matt.
Now, we ask everybody, all the anglers that come onto our podcast, if you was to have anybody in your boat, living or that have passed, who would it be and why would you want them in your boat to fish one day?
Oh, 100% it'd be my granddad. He passed away, a few years ago, and without a doubt, I'd have him in the boat.
Heck yeah. And last question, what does it mean to you to have Robinson on the back of your shirt?
It means a lot, man. I just, I don't put too much into it. I just go out there and do it. I'm more proud of representing, the working man and the guys out there who struggling to make it. And, you got to give those guys more respect than a lot of these old college kids. No offense, but got all the money and got the handout,
Well, and that's one thing.
It's had to work for them.
Right. And like, I've heard stories and stuff that when you first came to your first classic, that you told somebody that, they're like, what kind of truck you have? And you're like, I'm driving this truck that has 300,000 miles on it.
Fire steering went out on it.
And he said I was just cranking it coming all the way down here.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and we really appreciate all you've done, and we like that your character, you do not hide nothing. Whatever you feel, that's what you're saying, and you're probably one of the most openest person that's out here fishing.
Yeah,
so we appreciate that, and we hope that you do that you're hosting that trophy up over there.
Oh yeah.
So,
We're gonna have a good time if that trophy's over the head.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely be hitting you up on it as soon as because we want to be able to party with you.
I appreciate it.
What's up, guys? We are back and we've got Drew Benton, Bassmaster Classic angler from Panama City, right? And this is your 6th appearance in the Classic. And man, that is an accomplishment right there, just being able to qualify 6 times to be able to be here on this stage. So with that being said, how has the previous Classic tournaments been able to set you up to be prepared for this one?
So, my first class was back in, I think, 17. It was in Houston, Conroe, and, I went out the last day in the top 10, so I had a really good experience my first Classic, and I think I went a year, I missed a Classic, so 6 out of 7 years I've qualified, but I did miss one, and then these last few that I've been in, I've just been here, I've just been in the event. I don't know what the case may be. It's a unique event. You have to practice different. You have to fish it a little bit different. Everything about the event is not like an elite. So I think in the past I've kind of struggled with that a little bit, and I'm trying to get back to that, that first event. What I did in that one, and fish everyone moving forward that way. Fish it to win, and that's the way you have to fish this. There's nobody remembers second. It's the Bassmaster Classic, and if you're not fishing to win, you're not taking those risks. You're not in it to win. And I can say some of those lackluster finishes, if you will, I did gamble a little bit. I think you've got to figure out and make the right decisions based on the conditions, because we practiced a week ago. We got one practice period yesterday that was really nasty weather conditions, so you kind of got to, pick your poison and really choose your gambles wisely, but you have to lay it all out on the line for this one for sure.
Yeah. Now, do you think that you're going to be able to use, like your strength with sight fishing, do you think you're going to be able to use that here this weekend?
Maybe if I'm staring at that unit up front, that's the only sight fishing I'm going to be doing. Right. It's a lot of temperatures been in the mid-50s. I know we're going to have some 70, close to 80 degree days, but it's not going to be enough to get them up. Plus, I think the fish here, we're at winter pool, I think they wait for that water to come up before they actually go and spawn, so that's not going to be effective at all. I think what you're going to have to do is fish areas where they're coming to you, staging areas, those highways that they're going to be traveling, and stopping points before they actually spawn. That's going to be good.
How did it feel winning Rookie of the Year in 2016?
Yeah, so honestly, it was kind of like, because I was fortunate enough to win it on the FLW Tour in 2013, and then I fished there for 3 seasons, and then moved over to Bass and won it. It was almost like I kind of felt like I wasn't a rookie at that point, just because, I had some experience under my belt, but it's definitely something that, you know, you can hang on your resume and say that you were the best of the best of that rookie class that year, and we had some hammers that year.
You did,
in that rookie class, so I'm definitely proud of it, for sure.
Right. Now, how hard was it for you to pick fishing over baseball?
Sometimes I still wish I kept playing baseball on those bad days, but you know, I wouldn't trade anything. I don't think it's definitely a different mindset, you know, because you're still competing and all, but it's a different type of competition. You're not competing against the other anglers per se. I'm competing against the conditions and the fish in the fishery that we're on. So it's a different level of competition. I love the competition aspect of it, but just being outside and being, you know, involved in, you know, the outdoors and chasing down these wild fish, it's fun, you know. And I think that's what I just, you know, played out of baseball. I played the fun part out of baseball. I wasn't really having fun with it. I still have competition, so that's the reason why I made the decision.
Right. Now, what is your top 3 lakes that y'all fish with BASS?
Top 3 lakes. I would have to say St. Lawrence River. I would have to say that's a tough one. We go to some great places. Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend. I'll loop those together because they're really close. I can't wait to see them. For Florida, I would have to say, I wouldn't even say Florida. I'd say Lake Seminole, Lake Eval. They're my, you know, my home areas, and they're 2 very diverse fisheries, but they're, you know, 30 minutes apart. You got a grass fishery in Seminole, you know, timber, clear water. You go up, you follow it. It's clay banks, offshore ledge fishing. Right. Both of those fisheries are really dynamic.
In which you can take both of those lakes and you can got bits and pieces where you can take what the knowledge that you took from them lakes and put it on the Tennessee River.
Right, so, you know, that's kind of where I cut my teeth tournament fishing, and that's kind of what molded me into an elite angler, because I have so many different things I can do, and they're both Chattahoochee River and mountains, so it's very unique, but they're so different. Like anywhere you need.
Now, in our podcast, we ask this to all the anglers that we get on. If you can have anybody in your boat living or have passed away, who would it be and why would you want them in your boat to go fishing for one day?
To go fishing for one day. Yeah.
And it don't have to be a fisherman. It can just be whoever, a mentor or whatever.
I mean, I think my kids. I enjoy seeing them.
There's nothing like seeing that smile on that face.
And they always want me to put them in the live well, and they're playing with them back there in the live well. You know, 3 boys now. One's just a baby, so I get to, you know, enjoy that all over again.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun just seeing them experience it for the first time and kind of watch how it impacts their life. You know,
right. So, that's it, brother. We appreciate it, Drew. Hey, and
thank you, buddy.
What's up, guys? We are back, and we got Stetson Blaylock from Benton, Arkansas, and he, this year, what was it? Fourth? I was about to say, I knew it was like 3rd or 4th. Right, and this is 4th Classic, and we're going to ask him a few questions. So, do you think that you can find enough deep water with structure to keep you on fish to fish till Sunday?
I don't know that there's not enough deep fish right now. I don't think. That seemed to be a really tough thing to find. There are some, for sure, but I think you're going to have several guys that have found those fish.
Did you know that you like doing that deep water with the structure? And so, let's see, how do you like fishing the TVA lakes?
So that's a really good question. I personally don't like coming to the TVA when the water's still low. So every year,
water up to full.
It's they do it Memorial Day. We're from Chattanooga, so
You see it. Yep, exactly. So anytime that I've been, even last year when we fished Chickamauga,
Early April.
things are still behind because the river's still low, and I've struggled with that. It's not something that I've been able to
Figure out. That's the only thing.
This is my favorite time of year to fish.
March to the end of I've had my best success on the major trails. And the classic, it's time of year. But this is a different animal. When this water's still low, that's something different to it. This practice was no different. It was really challenging to be able to figure out this fishery, part of the TVA, when the water's low. So, I mean, for me, it's just tough. It's just hard to do.
Right, and like I'm up in this area my whole life, and which is hard for y'all to kind of really get a pattern down. 2 weeks ago, we were pushing 70, 80 degrees, and then last week we had 40 degrees. Right, and exactly, and then during tournament here, we're going to have to be pushing 80 degrees. Correct. So I mean, you're getting out there on fish. Can't really set a pattern on exactly what.
Yeah, and I really think that the top 5 or 6 guys
that are in this yard that are going to catch them don't know how they're going to do it. I think things are going to change. It's going to come down to the guys. There's going to be a handful of us that make the right adjustments in the middle part of the day, and it clicks. And when that happens, then you can run with it for the next 3 days. However, it's gonna take that guy being able to just say, look, this isn't working. I'm gonna have to change and adapt to the conditions to make that happen. And if somebody falls on it early, it could be over before it ever starts. Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would have been the youngest person to ever win an FLW event?
No, and I've looked back on that a lot of times, and it's still crazy to think back on how little I knew about winning a tournament that was a multiple day event, and being able to pull that off. It's still something that I've scratched my head about, you know. And it was meant to be. It was supposed to be my week that week, you know. Andy Morgan finished second to me, and he was on a really strong bite that week.
He was on a heck of a
He lost the fish to win 2 times, I believe. I watch the show a lot, and it's still amazing to understand that when it's your turn, and that kind of goes into the classic. I've been close, real close. Last year I was less than a pound close, and it stings. But at the end of the day, we're all competitors, and we all do everything we can to win. And it's got to be your time for it to happen. You know, just what my
I got 2 questions. Is there a difference in between fishing and classic?
So for me, I fished in FLW days. I fished several fish with those. And for me,
that was the biggest in the sport.
I didn't really grow up coming to Bassmaster Classic. It was something that my parents would bring me to. Watch it. Had the experience. Not only did I have the experience, but I finished inside the top 5. And looking back on that, I truly understand now what this week means and how special it is. There's honestly nothing else in this world for bass fishermen to get to.
Last question, brother. Do you have anyone in your boat that means living past? Who would it be, and why would you to have a day fishing with her?
That's a tough question. I'm gonna
I'm gonna pick somebody that's living that I compete against still, and I've spent 2 days in his boat. And it's funny that I'm going back to him, but he's a special person in this sport, and that's Larry Nixon.
Oh, man.
And he taught me a lot when I was just a kid. Treated me with utmost respect when I was just an amateur in the back of his boat. So being able to spend more time in the boat with that guy would be,
and just the knowledge that you get,
absolutely,
is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Couldn't spend it.
No. So, Stetson, brother, we appreciate it. We hope
Thank
to see
y'all.
you on Saturday.
Absolutely.
What's up, guys? We are back, and we got Brandon Cobb, 8-year pro. Brandon, are you going to be able to use your strength as in the top water? Is that going to be able to
this
do
week?
something?
So I didn't think there was any chance that any fish would be susceptible to some type of target top water fish and something like that. But it got warm. I don't, you never know. I felt fish really early. If anything works, I'll probably throw a buzzbait a little bit. It's definitely not going to be my go-to, I wouldn't say, but I'll definitely keep it honest throughout the day.
Right. So how does the TVA lakes compare to fishing like Hartwell?
Yeah. So Hartwell it's not very similar at all. But these TVA lakes, especially this one, this time of year, is actually pretty comparable to a Lake Greenwood or maybe a Lake Murray that I grew up fishing because the winter drawdown. I'm kind of used to a winter drawdown, and it feels pretty comfortable out there because where you can see the clay on one side, some of the steeper banks, with the water down 6 feet, it definitely looks different, but it's kind of, I feel pretty comfortable out there looking for isolated targets, things like I like.
And you've got an advantage with doing that and growing up around lakes that has the winter pool and stuff like that, compared to people that's like Florida and stuff like that, where it is what it is.
That's right. Yeah, definitely having some familiarity on that is
exactly.
big.
Exactly. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment in your career so far?
I mean, definitely my wins are that's the highlight of my career. I finished top 10 in points the other year, which was a good. That was I'd put that up there, but definitely 2 wins in 1 year. That's awesome. The best year I could imagine.
Yeah, because wins are hard to come by.
They are. Wins are hard to come by. It's something that a lot of people have been fishing a long time and never done, and I was fortunate in my first year to have 2.
Now, we ask this question to all the anglers that come onto our podcast.
Okay.
If you could have anyone in your boat, living or have passed, who would it be, and why would you want them on your boat?
That's it's hard to say. Now it would definitely be my granddad. I know that's I really didn't. He's the one that got me into fishing, but he actually never went fishing with me. I was just he got me in. He didn't fish himself, but he made sure I got to the lake when I was 12, 14 years old. He took me everywhere, and really wasn't to the level I am now when he passed away. So definitely my granddad.
That's good stuff.
Sounds good, brother. Well, brother, we wish you the best, and what's up, guys? We are back, and we got 8-year pro. And Corey's from Canada? Canada.
Oh, Peterborough, Ontario.
Ontario, okay. And quick question for you. Does any lakes in the U.S. fish similar to lakes back at home?
There's very few down south of the U.S. that fish similar to back home.
It's more the northern states that fish similar to where I live, where we got a lot of grass, milfoil, rockweed, that kind of stuff.
Does it help having your brother right here with you, fishing the hula with you?
It does. I mean, we work together really well. We practice together. We're always on the phone, and if one of us is able to figure something out, we're calling the other guy and trying to duplicate it in other parts of the lake. So we cover a lot of water quickly.
Is there any kind of competitive thing?
It's always competitive.
Does it make you feel good when other anglers think that you're
I didn't know that, but yeah, it does.
Which I'm doing my study, found out I was going to be able to interview you and stuff like that. I was doing and listening to Mercer's podcast and stuff, and I was like, Mercer said it, and then I started reading it on just. He's one of the most fierce person that.
Yeah, I'm a competitive guy.
Yeah, in which we see that, and in which we enjoy watching you fish and how you, especially on smallmouth fisheries, we think that if there's a smallmouth in the lake, we know you're going to catch it. So that's do you think smallmouths are going to play a big key this weekend?
Smallmouths are going to be a huge key to this tournament. I feel like the guy that wins is going to have half smallmouth, half larger.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Unless the guy can figure out how to catch 5 keeper smallmouths a day, and that all depends on, I feel like, the current.
Right. And that plays a key factor because we're from Chattanooga, and so we're on Chickamauga, and we know that all they're doing right now is just turning generators. There's really not any kind of good current flow, like how if we were going to be fishing smallmouth there's not good current flow. So we got another question that we ask every angler that comes onto our podcast. If you could have anybody on your boat, living or half passed, who would it be and why would you want them on your boat?
I'd probably say my brother, so if he makes me mad, I can beat the hell out of him.
That's good stuff.
Sounds good, bro. Awesome. Now we'll let you get back to it, and we appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome back, guys. We hope you enjoyed that video. The interviews, man, we had a blast, especially talking to Matt, and then Jason Christie. Let's say Scott Canterbury, and we had Scott Martin on there.
Yeah.
What interview did you enjoy the most on that?
You know what, Matt Robinson. Anytime you ever get a chance to talk to Matt, it's just a total trip. He is a great guy. He's a character though, and had a lot of fun with Matt. And Lee Livesey, man.
Yeah.
Talk about a great guy and just a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, I think if Lee Livesey and Matt Robinson was to go into a bar together, they're closing that bar down.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
They definitely could put some drinks away, but I think mine. I really like the Corey Johnson. Talking to him and Scott Canterbury.
Yeah. And Scott Canterbury, love that. But, one of my favorites too is getting a chance to interview Scott Martin. Me growing up and fishing the same lake where Scott's actually from down in Okeechobee.
Right.
Down there, everybody knows who Scott is. And he was a great interview. But what really kind of was pretty cool is when we were able to talk to Scott about his family.
Yeah, and
his dad.
Yeah, that's when he's used to. I mean, and all of them are used to having the fishing questions asked to them and stuff like that. So it's kind of just going through the motions for him. But then you've seen that personality change and his facial expression change when we started talking about his dad and his family and his kids and going down to the Keys or just having them in the boat. So that was very cool to see. It kind of got him away from the classic moment for just a second. And so
exactly.
But I did like the fact that Corey Johnson said that when we asked him who would he want to have, if he could have anybody on the boat,
his brother.
He wanted his brother, and he could have had anybody in the world. And just because he wanted to kick his brother's butt. And so that was, to me, that was hilarious. And it just goes to show that them Johnson boys, they are very competitive, and he wanted him in the boat just so he can whoop him. So, but guys, we hope y'all enjoyed it, and we will see you here later on, and we hope that you have lived the passion, and we will see you out on the water.
Yep, tight lines, guys.
See you guys.